I am so happy that you're able to join us for this extended interview. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get more killer resources. All right, so we've been talking about landing a remote job for a while now, but the one thing you're probably most curious about is how to learn the online skills you need to land these jobs. I'm not just talking about getting a brief introduction, but learning from actual accredited schools so you can be taken seriously when you apply for these jobs. You've been waiting for a while, and I'm really sorry about that, but I have finally created a whole page listing the best courses to take, from teaching English online to becoming a freelance writer and so much more, all from trusted sources that will get you that remote job. So if you're ready and serious to take the next step, then visit theoffbeatlife.com/learn online skills to get started. Again, you can visit theoffbeatlife.com/learn online skills to get started. Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here for this extended interview with Alice, where she's going to share with us how to eliminate procrastination and money blocks that are holding you back. Hey Alice, how are you?
Hey. Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good.
Thank you so much for being here again. But before we get to all of your amazing tips and tricks, can you tell us about you and why you live an offbeat life?
Yeah, so I started my offbeat life about 12 years ago now, and it was very much to just see exactly what I was capable of and who I was. So always been traveling to push myself, face my fears, reach my full potential, and so far still alive and going good.
you like you made it. You're still here.
I'm still here.
You survived all the journey, and if you guys haven't heard her initial interview, you have to hear it, because her journey to where she is right now is really interesting. And I keep telling Alice to write a book because she's so funny and interesting. Maybe you can make an audiobook too, because I love, like, obviously you have like an English accent, and then you're just so entertaining, but I'm sure, like, if I meet Alice in person, we'll just be like cracking up and like laughing, and just like, because you have just so much stories to tell, and I feel like we could have different episodes with you. But but now you are running a really interesting business, because you're helping creatives, right, to eliminate all of these things that most of us, we do have these roadblocks when we're creating. We either procrastinate, we either don't feel like we deserve success, we don't deserve the money, what we're earning. So how are you doing that? How did you get to that point? Well, first of all, how did you think to do this? Because it's a really interesting project that you're doing.
Yeah, so way before I was a digital nomad and I started traveling, I was working in the psychological services in the National Health Service in the UK. Saw many clients, dealing with depression, anxiety, stress, all that jazz. But obviously, when I quit to go traveling, my life just took a completely different turn. I taught English for 5 years. That was brilliant. And then throughout that time, I really got into travel blogging, and I switched from teaching English to travel blogging and did that full time for 5 years. And it was brilliant. I was working with really big brands, being in publications. I was on the BBC, just to name drop a little bit. But, I was working with all of these really cool people. But I was kind of struggling within myself. There was a lot of imposter syndrome going on within me. And every time I got a project or something, I was like, they're just working with me because I'm nice, or I just got that job because I'm lucky. Like, I was not owning my skills or my talent or what I had created at all. And I remember I was on a particular press trip once, and I just said it out loud. I can't even remember who I was speaking to, but I turned to her and I just said, do you ever feel like that you shouldn't be here, that, you just lucky? She's like, I think it all the time. And I was like, wow, man, like someone else feels the same. And I started talking to more and more creators, writers, photographers, Instagrammers, influencers, and I just started saying, hey, like, are you struggling with this? Like, are you procrastinating? Are you burning out? Do you feel like a perfectionist? And everyone was like, yeah. I'm like, I'm really struggling. And because this is the thing, being a creator, you have to do so much. You have to create the content, you have to show up online, you need that confidence, and there's a lot of things you have to manage, especially when you're starting to make money. You got to negotiate, you got to pitch. And I really started to think, hang on a minute, like, I've got all of this experience in psychology. I've been a creator myself. I got to do something. I've got to combine my skills. And that's exactly what I did. And one of the different things about that, though, is that as a psychologist in the NHS, I was always working with the conscious mind. So, if you're a creator right now or entrepreneur who is journaling or doing meditations or affirmations, you may find that's not working for you. And I want to tell you why. So the problem with all this stuff is that, yes, it's great and it does work, but I find that it takes a long time because you're trying to change your mindset from the outside in, right? It's like trying to put lotion on your skin and it's just not sinking in. And I found that with all the clients I was working with back then at NHS, that change took time, and they didn't want to come and see me every week, to try and resolve stuff. So I thought there has to be a quicker way. And that's when I discovered hypnosis. And I found that actually working with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind holds all of your beliefs and behaviors and memories, it basically is your own hard disk. I found that actually working from that place instead brings about change so quickly because you're basically tapping into the source. So yeah, I went back to school. I studied hypnosis, and that's the way that I work with creators right now.
Wow, that is amazing. I don't think I've ever met someone who does what you do and in the niche that you're doing. So this is definitely one of a kind. I mean, have you heard of anybody else that's done this before, Alice? Because
Yeah,
like,
I don't know anyone else right now.
yeah, I'm like, imagine meeting Alice and be like, so what do you do?
Yeah, when I tell people, they're like, oh, like, yeah, because I guess it is quite unique. But I'm
Yeah.
just finding my thing, and I know that I've got the skills and experience to do it, and I love it. I love working with creators. It's
Yeah,
so
and I
fun.
love that you were able to combine everything that you're good at into this really specific model, this niche that you have that helps people. And it's so funny cuz been to, okay, so I have this story. The biggest the first and one of the biggest brand collaborations I've ever had, and I was just starting out as a content creator. And like when you do these things, you're treated really well, right? And
Yes.
I thought about that, exactly what you were saying, Alice. Like, I just looked at everything around me and I was like, I don't know how I'm even here. And I did say to one of the other creators, I'm like, is this even real? Do you sometimes feel like you're just dreaming and this is not even your reality? Because like this is crazy. Like, it just feels like this is nuts, right? And especially I think when you're just beginning, or maybe even you're I think too, like, once you get into it and you've been doing it for a very long time, it's just normal to you. But especially when you're just beginning, it doesn't feel like you're deserving, or maybe it's not going to be, continuous, like it's going to be taken away from you. So there's a lot of those insecurities for a lot of us, right? And you're right. And that's such a good way of helping people, because I'm like, that is awesome.
Because I really want creators to succeed in their business. Honestly, I just feel that we have so much value, so much awesomeness to share. And what a shame if your procrastination or your confidence or your money beliefs get in the way of that. You got to clear that. You got to clear that so that you can truly go forth and do what you want to do in a really good way.
So when you do your hypnosis, do you do it online? Because now since you're traveling around, how do you do that and what exactly it is that you do to, for example, like with money blocks or even procrastination, right? How do you do your hypnosis so that they can, get that out of them, like, and it doesn't hold them back anymore?
Yeah, so I pretty much always work on Zoom. And yeah, that's the first question that people ask. Like, you can be hypnotized over Zoom. I'm like, yes, 100%, 100%. And it's better anyway, right? Because you're in the comfort of your own little home. If and it's just so much easier. So yes, you can be hypnotized online. And what actually happens, I mean, it's important to know basically that all the beliefs that we have, all of the programming that we have, it's been created from the things that we've been through. Yeah, and as you're growing up as a child, you see certain things, you hear certain things, and you're like a sponge, right? And you pick up on these things. And just as an example, for example, if we want to talk about money, for example, money, there are so many beliefs connected to it. Like most people automatically jump to the idea that you may think, oh, money doesn't grow on trees or money is evil. But actually, there are just so many beliefs that can be connected to money. It's a big thing, and the way that I work is that I'm going to really connect to your subconscious mind. And I always say, look, we're going to go on a journey and we're going to get in this car and I have the steering wheel. I'm going to drive the car, but you have the map because everybody's map is different. Everyone has different experiences and different events that have happened to them and different interpretations of that event. Because, I've had clients whose brothers and sisters have actually been in that same scene. And I've seen the brother and sister as a client as well. But their interpretation of that scene has been completely different. So the beliefs that you attach to these memories are super important. And yeah, we go on a journey and we actually find these scenes where you have created these beliefs. And sometimes people obviously don't even know what the belief is. And we find out, what meaning you're attaching to those events. And then it's very much a case of understanding that, because understanding is power. A lot of people when they come and see me, they have no idea why they have problems with money. They have no idea where they're procrastinating because they're creators. They just want to do it. They're like, I just want to do this. I love what I do. I just don't know what the problem is. So that's why we go into the subconscious mind to find that root, that reason, that cause. And then once you understand it, then you can eliminate it and you can completely change and rewrite the story from a perspective of the adult that you are now. Um, and I always say, in the hypnosis session, we're basically changing your hardware, right? We're changing the hardware. But after that, after the hypnosis session, then we're upgrading the software, because that's another really important thing to note, that you can change your mindset, but you have to take action. By taking action, then you can actually see what you're truly capable of. And as you take those actions and you take those opportunities and you try new things, then your beliefs are going to upgrade even faster, because you get the evidence. You're like, oh yeah, actually I am kick-ass. I'm amazing. I can do this, So you always got to take action too. That's super important.
Yeah, and I think that's really genius because unfortunately, there's a lot of things that happen in our lives that we don't even know, we're not even conscious of, that really changes the way we act and we do things. And understanding that and feeling like you have control over it is life changer, right? For a lot of people. And when you don't know, it feels like you're always in the dark. And if you don't know what's happening, you can't do anything about it. So I love that you're bringing that out so that people can actually make something happen instead of just not knowing and still being in that darkness that sometimes you really feel like you're in, and just confusion most of the time.
Yes, because it can be very overwhelming when you really want to achieve something. You just don't know the reason why. Yeah, so that understanding is pure power. Once you really know why something's happening, then you're gonna skyrocket. It's quite interesting. Some of the clients that I see, they even go back to scenes when they're in the womb.
Wow.
They can hear their parents saying something, or arguing about something. It's fascinating work, what comes up, because as a baby in the womb, you're still alive. Your subconscious is there, it's recording everything. So it's fascinating what comes up. You never know what's going to come up, but it's a very obviously safe and supportive process, and I'm with you throughout the whole thing, just supporting you. So yeah, and obviously at the end of the session, it's just a completely brand new you. So I love my job. I love
Yeah.
my job.
That is like, it seems so interesting. And do they remember like what they felt, what they say, like what happened after you hypnotize them?
Yeah, so this is quite interesting. Like, everybody's experience of hypnosis is different. Some people, they feel so hypnotized. Others are just like, am I hypnotized right now? I'm like, yeah, just trust, just trust. Um, just trust. Everyone's experience of it is different, but this is the best thing. So throughout the whole session, I'm talking to you all the time, obviously asking a lot of questions, but most people actually after a session can't really remember a lot, and that actually shows that it's worked, because
Wow.
they are letting go of those painful memories. They're letting go of those scenes that really had an impact on them. That is part of the healing, to let that go, to release what is no longer serving you anymore.
That is amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, you all need to definitely get a hold of Alice, because I'm like just listening to you, I'm like, okay, it feels like you're hypnotizing me right now. So, um,
Maybe I am. I don't know. I'm not.
I know, I'm like,
I promise.
is she hypnotizing me
No.
right now? Like, yeah. But thank you so much for this, Alice. This is so incredible. Like I said, I've never met somebody who did what you are doing and still able to live this like really incredible life because of really following your passion. So I love that. So if our listeners want to know more about your hypnosis, if they want to be, if they're really curious about it, where can they find you?
Yeah, so just go straight to my website. You'll find me at speaktoalice.com. And of course, I'm on all the social media channels at Speak to Alice. You can hit me up right there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alice. We really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed this extended interview with Alice. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get the full interview where she shares how she was able to leave corporate to become a nomadic hypnotist. Hey friend, have you been wanting to start a podcast? I know it can be overwhelming in the beginning. Believe me, I have been there. Lucky for you, we have created a new site called howtocreateapodcast.com that shares a ton of freebies that can help you get started. From launching, growing to monetizing, we share it all in one place. Visit howtocreateapodcast.com for more information. Thanks for joining me on this extended interview. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. We can also chat some more on Facebook at The OB Life. I'll talk to you soon.